Okay. Good morning. This is your Detroit City Council President, Brenda Jones, with another virtual meeting to keep the community informed and engaged while we are observing Governor Whitmer's Stay Home, Stay Safe executive order. Today, we are doing a repeat topic because information is constantly changing and people still need assistance. We're going to talk about state and federal resources as it relates to individuals and small businesses. We are on Facebook Live at facebook.com/CP Brenda Jones. For those of you who would like to view the meeting, you can still ask questions by pressing *9 on your phone during the question and answer portion. Please write down your questions so you'll be ready to ask them when it is time. Since our first event on this topic a few weeks ago, more categories have been added for people who can apply for unemployment, such as contract workers and people who are self-employed. There also are new timelines. And very importantly, the state has added capacity and new staff to its application system. So hopefully, downtime is now at a minimum. Kimberly Berry, Deputy Director of the State Unemployment Insurance Agency, is here to give us an update. Last week, Mayor Duggan gave a special COVID-19 related budget message where he outlined how the city of Detroit would have to change the work hours of employees to help stave off a $300 million deficit. Denise Starr, our HR Director for the city of Detroit, will join us at 11 a.m. to discuss the options being implemented and how her department will assist city workers who will need to apply for unemployment. Also, joining us again to give an update on the CARES Act is Curtis Dolster, Legislative Director for Congresswoman Lawrence. She's busy working with her congressional colleagues to find ways to provide more money to small businesses impacted by COVID-19. Tajana Cole and Kevin Breil from TCF Bank and Kenneth K, Chairman and CEO of First Independent Bank, are new to our panel. We welcome them. Mr. Breil and Ms. Cole also will let us know about mortgage options through TCF, especially who will not be able to apply. First Independence Bank is what I like to call Detroit's bank because they have a local touch when trying to talk to and work with our small businesses. Chairman Kelly reached out to see how he could help in getting information out to Detroit small businesses about the COVID-19 related funding that was available and what they should be doing now. And so that brings us to our first panelist. She's not a stranger to us, Constance Logan from the Small Business Administration, Michigan office. She joined us during our first state and federal resource panel on April the 3rd. At that time, the Small Business Grant Program was new and they were still figuring out how to implement it. Now, just a few weeks later, the funds are gone and applications are still in the pipeline. So I begin by especially thanking Ms. Logan for being here because I know these are not easy conversations for you to have at this time. I know there are some answers you just won't have. But I'll share with you the questions and comments I've received on my social media from Detroit small business owners who are frustrated and upset. I understand the position you're in here trying to implement the programs as things are happening in Washington, D.C. I also understand the defeated feelings of an independent small business owner applying for $25,000 to keep his or her business operating and employees paid only to be told the money is gone. Yet, a national chain like Ruth Chris Steakhouse or Shake Shack, just a few to mention, receives millions of dollars. Ms. Logan, will you please tell us what plans are in place to address these concerns and give us an update on the program as it stands today? Also, how will applications be prioritized for the second round of funding? Ms. Logan, the floor is all yours.
Good morning, and thank you, Council President Brenda Jones. I appreciate the opportunity to be here, as you said, in the heat of things. But I think through crisis is when, things happen, collaboration increases, and so I'm happy to be here to be on the forefront. So as you mentioned, you're absolutely right. The funds for the PPP, Payment Protection Program, as well as our EIDL Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program have been exhausted. Now, if you're watching the news, what we hope to happen is there's going to be a new allocation of funds. What we're told is in the tune of maybe about 250 billion, but again, that's something that's going to happen at the national level. On the local level, one of the things that we've really been advocating for is, how do we effectively manage getting the hands into those smaller businesses? As I mentioned, the PPP program is a program that's actually delivered through our lenders. You mentioned Mr. Kelly is here, and he is one of those lenders as well. So the banks are kind of the first line in terms of who has access. So what we've heard in the community, we've heard the frustration, we've heard individuals that have gotten the loans, as you mentioned, that other people feel that they shouldn't have gotten the loans, but we have to come up with a solution. So based upon that, what we've done is we have developed a list of lenders that are participating in the PPP program. Also, during the first round, there were banks that could apply to be a SBA lender just for the PPP program. So based upon that, we received probably about 15 new credit unions that have come on board that want to take on new customers. And we have that list available. So if you don't have a banking relationship, first I would go to your bank and really have a conversation about you being a priority in terms of getting access to this PPP program. I've heard business owners say they were with the bank for 25 or so years, and that bank came up with their own criteria in terms of providing them access to loans, whether it's having an existing account, a credit card, et cetera. So the small business owner really needs to hold that bank accountable in terms of getting access to the loans. Also, if you don't have a bank, as I mentioned, we have new credit unions that are on board that want to help fill that void. We can't endorse one credit union over the other, but we do have a list of new credit unions. In addition to that, there's some what we call fintech organization, financial and tech companies, for example, PayPal, Square, Intuit. They've also been approved to be SBA lenders. So that's something that happened at the end of the Payment Protection Loan Program. So again, that's another option for you to access the loan. So the key is, one, to be ready. So when this announcement is made, I assume it's probably going to be this week. you really need to be on board. You need to be talking to your lender right now, like today, and find out, am I eligible to participate in this program with you? Am I going to be a priority with you? That's the first thing. The second thing is, if you need a lender or a list of lenders that are participating in the program, maybe the new credit unions, you can send an email to my office at michigan@sba.gov, and that's michigan@sba.gov, to get a list of lenders who are participating in the program. In terms of the EIDL loan, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, that's a program that's actually delivered directly from the SBA's Office of Disaster Assistance Loan Program, which is part of the SBA, but actually receive a separate allocation of funding from Congress. So in terms of that, if more funds are allocated to the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, you need to be ready now to apply. Again, if you aren't sure about what you need to apply, we have resource partners that I meet with every morning. The Michigan Small Business Development Center, SEED, which is the Center for Economic Development. All those organizations are standing by waiting to help you navigate the economic stimulus. In addition to that, I mentioned SEED. That's an organization that SBA provide grant opportunities to. Now, SEED is around throughout. It's just not during this pandemic crisis. And I know for a fact that SEED right now, they have a up to $25,000 loan program that they're providing to Wayne County residents. You can apply today, and it's a disaster loan bridge program. And the good thing about this program is there's also a 6-month deferment that you don't have to pay the money back. So during that 6-month deferment, SBA will pick up that cost. So that's another option to you. And if you're interested in that, as I mentioned, it's SEED, and the person you would reach out to is Todd Van Apeldoorn, and his email address is T as in Tom, VANAPPLEDORN @MICEED.org. And that's something that's available to you right now, today. So I'd be glad to entertain questions right now, or any other comments that anyone wants to share.
Are you going to be able to stay on with us, Ms. Logan, for a moment?
Sure, I can.
Okay, thank you. Because I want to go on to Mr. Kelly. And let me start off by thanking you again, Ms. Logan, for that information and being here with us again. And also by introducing you, Mr. Kenneth Kelly. This is the first time you have joined us. And Mr. Kelly is the chairman and the CEO of First Independence Bank. Excuse me. Mr. Kelly, will you please give us an overview of your bank experience? And can you just talk to us about your experience and how it relates to Paycheck Protection Program and the federal assistance to small businesses who operations were affected by the COVID-19? And again, thank you for being here.
Council President Jones, thank you so much. I appreciate your leadership in having these kinds of conversations. We need to have more of them, and I'm just so grateful that you've asked us to allow us to have this platform to talk about the things that have been going on. It's great to see my friend, Ms. Logan, who's actually with the SBA. We have been tied at the hip, not only locally, but even nationally, in dealing with some of these issues to be sure that we could do our best in getting dollars out to the community. So Council President Jones, I'll need to start really in a couple of roles that I serve in. So let me start really at a fairly high level to talk about the National Bankers Association and my role there. I serve as chairman of the National Bankers Association, which really represents minority banks across the country. This organization's been in existence since 1927, so we've been serving minority banks for now 93 years. I say that to say that we were one of the first institutions to go on record to say that 501c3s, in particular churches, should be participating in this program. In fact, we had a letter into Congresswoman Maxine Waters, I believe around the 18th or so of March, advocating for that. And to the credit of the SBA, the administrator Carranza came out with a ruling on that. I think it was on a Saturday evening, April 4th. So my point is, we recognize as being a minority institution that we have to be the advocate for those institutions and really all of the people that it serves, not just in Detroit, but across the country. I say that to say we've been working with a network of our banks. We've been working with legislators on the Hill, through the White House, Treasury, the SBA, et cetera, to be sure that our voices are being heard and included. As you know, it takes a lot of effort to get those things done. But what we're expecting is in this next tranche 3.5, there will be some form of an allocation. It will not state directly minority banks, but we will be included in a sub-allocation of that roughly $60 billion. It may be broken into $30 billion. But the point I'm trying to make is it takes the voices of a village to try to be sure that we are heard in a way that can make a difference. And that's been going on really at a national level. I will tell you, and just really kind of quasi-preview without getting into details, that there is a network of names engaged in trying to ensure that minorities get to participate. And I won't go any further than that, but hopefully there will be some information coming out on that a little bit later this week. So let's break that down and bring it back into the First Independence family and what we're doing in Detroit. We have been advocating for minorities and businesses since now 1970 for 50 years, and that hasn't stopped in the midst of COVID. What we have been engaging in is outreach such as this channel that you have today. We've had outreach with Bishop T.D. Jakes. That happened on April 5th, very early on when the process started, along with the National Business League, the National Realtors Association, which is the Black Realtors Association, along with our very own president of the NAACP, Reverend Wendell Anthony, in talking about these issues to try to be sure we're getting the information out and that everyone understands the qualifications of the program that you heard Ms. Logan just talked about just a moment ago. So that includes the two programs, to be very specific, the EIDL program, which I think we're expecting an additional $50 billion that will come in this next stimulus 3.5. And then the PPP program for small business, which is being talked about at $250 billion plus another $60 billion that will be broken into two tranches of $30 billion plus $30 billion. So want to get that information out there so that people have the ability to know what they can qualify for. I would advocate you take the opportunity to go to our website. We have all of the information out there regarding the application process and the information that you would need to know in learning how to apply. Now, let's get to the brass tacks. We've been able to help a high percentage of the customers who apply to us at First Independence Bank. We are a very small institution, so we are hitting some thresholds at this point in time where we may not be able to serve the constituency directly. And we know that there's a lot of unmet need out there. But what we are doing is looking at some synthetic ways that we can help individuals who are customers of ours and those who are not customers of ours to be able to participate in this program. And that goes back to the national effort that I alluded to earlier. So at this point in time, I would advocate for those individuals to do, as you said, Council President, get to know your banker. I think Ms. Logan said the same thing. If you don't have a banker, get to know a banker. And in the loose terms that we've been hearing on the circuit lately is you might need to find a banker to date. And I use that term very loosely because it is that relationship that will make a difference in hopefully your needs being met in this time of need. We all know that we will disproportionately be impacted. We know that, those are facts. Nobody has to demonstrate or put their reputation on the line for that. But what we should do is figure out how to collectively come together and voice our opinions in a manner that will be heard and that could demonstrate that policies and procedures will be allocated in such a way that it can impact our community. And you have our full commitment on behalf of First Independence as the chairman and on behalf of the chairman of the National Bankers Association that we would do this with all the strength and fortitude that we have. We ask that others will join us in ensuring that this unmet need is articulated in such a way that people are hearing what is going on. And so again, our website is www.firstindependence.com. We would love to hear from you. If we can't serve you, we will be sure to do our best to get you to someone who can. So I'd like to just go ahead and open the floor at this point for questions. If there's anyone who has a question of me, I know I've got some of my colleagues on the line, like Donnell White of TCF Bank, and he's a partner of ours at First Independence, and others who may be able to answer more questions later. But I do want to go ahead and open the floor at this point in time.
If you don't mind, Mr. Kelly, I got a couple of other people that I'd like to speak before we open it up for questions. So if you don't mind, give me an opportunity to let these couple of people speak, and then I will open it up for questions if you don't mind. But I thank you so much for that presentation.
My pleasure.
Okay, I have Ms. Cole and Mr. Breil. Thank you for being here today. And I'm not sure if Ms. Cole has an opportunity to join us. And I think she is here, but I know I do have the two of you present, and I've seen many commercials running that this is a great time now to buy a new home or refinance your home because interest rates are so low. But like with most things, it's always about timing. And interest rates may be low, but the timing of being low during the COVID-19 pandemic may mean those who need it most will not qualify. Can you just tell us about the mortgage market now and who can and who cannot benefit from the low interest rates?
Sure, absolutely. And Council President Jones, thank you so much for the opportunity to partner with you all on this call. It's great to see everybody. As you mentioned, we've got Tangela Cole is our CRA loan officer located right in our Detroit office. So Tangela's on the call as well. And then as Kenneth just mentioned, Donnell White is on the call as well with us on this presentation. But so yes, for TCF Bank, we are a bank headquartered in the city of Detroit. Building is currently being built on Woodward, right across from Comerica Park. So we're excited about that. But I trust everyone's doing well during these very challenging and difficult times. But so as you were asking, yes, the mortgage industry has greatly been impacted. I've been in the mortgage business for 30 years. And real quick about my position with the bank, I'm the Southeast Michigan Regional Manager for mortgage. So we specialize in residential lending and in covering Southeast Michigan, including the city of Detroit, where we have a good presence. But the mortgage industry has greatly been impacted. In my 30 years of doing this, we look back to 2008 with the mortgage meltdown that we all experienced, and you know, not to scare anybody, but this has a little bit of a similar feel when you really dig deep into the mortgage business and where things are at currently. However, this is not, you know, mortgage driven, you know, real estate driven as it was back then. It's just kind of where our economy with all the shutdowns and where things are at currently. As a bank, we're very strong. We're lending, so there's still tremendous opportunities. As you mentioned, interest rates are at an all-time low. You know, right around 3% on a 30-year fixed. And so when you think of historically where mortgage rates are at, it couldn't be a better time. The difficulty that we're seeing is then, of course, job situation. Are you employed currently? Are you temporarily unemployed and not able to obtain financing? So that is the issue that we see currently. Forbearance is a very very important thing going on right now for those individuals that are greatly impacted by COVID-19. You know, our bank is participating in the CARES Act. We're really no questions asked, being able to offer a forbearance for those that are impacted and not able to make their mortgage payment. Of course, that's if their loan is with TCF or Legacy Chemical Bank. We have that opportunity to work with those individuals. But as far as lending goes, we're lending. I think that there are the government agencies, when you look at Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, we have seen a tightening on their lending standards a little bit. Credit scores have increased slightly. We're looking at those as very much a temporary adjustment in the market right now. And I think pretty much very much related to the concerns of where the market and liquidity in the market is at currently. But we still are able to lend a full suite of products, whether it's Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, Michigan State Housing Development Authority, or a MSHDA loan is still a viable option. Their credit scores have increased slightly temporarily as well. We have the option with our bank. We have our Heart and Home, which is in essence a closing cost assistance of $2,500. Though that is for those qualified based on low to mod income or home being located in a low to mod census tract. And of course, we are still offering our Detroit home mortgage, which is a great mortgage opportunity in the city of Detroit for those who need to or are looking to purchase or refinance their home and use money to improve their home, and where we can actually lend a higher amount than what that home is currently valued at. So we have those commitments in the city of Detroit that we're still lending, and that has not changed at all. We're also, I know somebody had mentioned I wanted to at least, I'm not involved with on the business side, but great partners for our small business, but wanted to point out regarding the small business opportunities that we are still accepting applications and preparing to process once the SBA opens up for a second round of funding. Some banks have shut down their processes, but at TCF Bank, we've actually bolstered our resources and manpower to increase production and attempt to meet the demand. To date, we've received approximately 15,000 applications and are working around the clock to get applications processed and submitted. And currently, I know a lot of banks are limiting to only their customers, but currently we do not have a TCF customer. You do not have to be a TCF customer to submit for the SBA loan, the PPP. So as a bank, we've got a great commitment to the city on both the residential mortgage side and then also on the commercial side. You know, there's a couple questions that you know I saw that I thought maybe I would just go over real quick to kind of help with everybody understanding. So if you currently have a mortgage application in process in general, if you're out there, we as a bank, we did a great job of our many employees moving to working from home. It was pretty seamless. I give credit to our IT department to make that happen. But we haven't really skipped a beat. So yes, we're able to process, close applications just like normal. We have another question, what about digital or virtual options? We've adjusted considerably with the title companies. Title companies, appraisers, all of them are still considered essential businesses because they're related to the banking world. And you know, our title partners have done a great job of social distancing closing, doing virtual closings through a door or through, I've even heard of the customers sitting in their vehicle, signing their documents with the notary, observing that signature and handing them through the documents through the window. appraisers, we've had adjustments made on the, allowed by Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, to where we can do exterior appraisals, and an appraiser does not have to go into a home that's occupied. Of course, all of our loan application documentation is all electronically sent and signed electronically. Other question I think that we get a lot is employment. Are you required to be employed currently to close on a mortgage? And yes, we still, if somebody is temporarily laid off due to COVID-19, we still need to wait until that individual is back to work before we can close. But we can keep their, still, they can still apply knowing that they will be going back to work. And then, of course, I think as far as the forbearance, we are able to forbear a loan for somebody who is not able to make their payment due to COVID-19, and those payments, I think there's been a lot of media out there that of some banks that say you owe the 3 months once the once those 3 months are done, and we are not requiring that. We're going to work with the individual. We've got a number of different options that we can do, spread that payment out, and and not put a burden on that individual to have to come up with that payment right away. But so we have a number of options that we can work with the consumer.
Okay, thank you so very much for that information. It was very helpful to our listening audience. It was even helpful to me, because it's just so much information that you gave that I was not even aware of. Our next speaker will not be with us, so that means that there's action happening in DC regarding funding. Curtis Guster was going to be with us today, but he was called into a House meeting and will not be available. We'll get him to participate with us again in another one of our digital outreachers later this week for a full update that we hope will be good news. And so let me remind everyone that we are on Facebook Live at facebook.com/CP Brenda Jones. And if you would like to ask a question, because we're going to move on to our question and answer portion. So if you would like to ask a question, please press *9 on your phone, and you will have an opportunity to ask your questions. Again, I want to just thank all our panelists who have joined us this morning with such good information. While some might have been disappointed with what is going on with the loans, hopefully we will see more money, and with the grant dollars, we will see more money and more opportunities. Mr. Kelly spoke of some coming to us. So if now is your time, if you have a question that you would like to ask, again, if you press *9, you will have an opportunity to ask the questions that you would like to ask of our panelists. And we have great panelists here with us this morning. Again, we have Constance Logan, who is here with us from the Small Business Administration Michigan office. We have Kenneth K, who is the chairman and CEO of First Independence Bank. And we have Mr. Breil and Ms. Cole, who are here to talk to us about refinancing homes. And so if you have questions, here's your opportunity to ask your questions. I know you said you had some of your colleagues who was here with us. Mr. Kelly, you want to just briefly speak on who you have with us joining today, listening in or able to answer questions?
No, it's just myself from our institution. I think I may have made reference to our partner at TCA White during that segment.
Okay. All right, thank you. Do we have any questions, any callers waiting in queue?
No, Council President, at this time, we do not have any callers at this time. Oh, we have two hands. Caller, I'm going to call the last three digits of your telephone number. 366.
366.
You are unmuted. Please go ahead with your question or comment.
Hello. I would like to thank all of you for the great information that I received today, and thank you all for participating. I would like to know if I could get the number for the refinancing from the gentleman that just spoke from TCF Bank. I had called to get a refinancing and was told that I couldn't get one because they had to come inside to do the inspection to give me a value for the house. So I was really glad to hear that they could do it from the exterior, and I would like to know if there's a number that I can call.
Sure. I'll give you my personal cell number. Are you ready?
Yes.
It's 248 376
376.
4286.
And your name one more time, please?
Kevin.
Kevin.
And the last name Breil, Breil. And we can talk about that, but just for maybe for everyone else's edification, there are certain programs that do need an interior, but there's a number of them that the agencies, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, have allowed an exterior as well. So, you know, your situation, we'll talk about it, but your situation may not meet that criteria, but I'll be glad to talk with you about that afterwards.
Okay, I appreciate it. And
Sure.
I have one more question. Mr. Appledorm, I wanted to get that email address again I didn't get the name down right. Is it Appledorm?
We have Kevin Breil here. We have Kenneth Cole here. I'm not sure who you're talking about, and we have Miss Constance Logan here.
Oh, well, Ms. Logan was speaking about the government loan program, and there was a email address that she gave for an organization that you could contact, and I didn't get it all down. It was TBAN Apple, and I didn't get the Apple DORN at something. Hello,
Okay.
Ms. Logan?
Yes, I can repeat that. So it's with the Center for Economic and Empowerment Development, and the person's name is Todd Van Appledorn. And the email address again is T as in Tom, VANAPPLE, just like the apple you eat, Dorn, DORN as in Nancy, Tom,
Okay.
T Van Appledorn at MICEED.org. O-R-G.
Okay, thank you. And thank everyone again for this great information. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we have a second caller, and I think that caller is 292. The last three digits of the number is 292. Are you still here?
Yeah, I'm still here. Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's family is doing well and safe today.
Good morning, and same to you. Thank you. You
I got
have
my question. Yeah, my question. I had a couple questions. One is to Kevin. My friend has a mortgage. If her mortgage company is not allowing her to do the forbearance, can she transfer mortgage companies, or only the mortgage company can do that?
Yeah, unfortunately, the forbearance, you've got to deal directly with your specific lender. You know, where the SBA loans, you can go to a bank that's not yours, but the forbearance program, the CARES Act, is through that specific lender.
Is it a reason that everybody's not doing right now? Is it some finances dealing with the bank? They don't want to give out the money, or why is it not like that for everybody?
You know, I don't know. Kenneth, do you know offhand why? You know, I was with the understanding that all banks were required to, but Now, there's something to consider. It's if it has to be a government loan, so an FHA, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac service loans. So if it's maybe a home equity or maybe like we have portfolio loans that are not serviced by a government agency, those loans do not fall under that CARES Act. However, we as a bank, TCF, we are still working with those individuals similar to that program, and we're basically just extending their due dates. Instead of their payment due on April 1st, we're extending their next payment due to July 1st. So we're doing, as a bank, but I can only speak to our bank. That's what we're doing as a bank to help those that are not a government loan, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, or VA. So to that end, I really can't speak, to what who their bank is and what the situation is for that individual. But Kenneth,
I would add to
but if it's government, they might be able to push the envelope.
Yeah, if it's a government owned loan by the agencies, then they should be able to. But Kenneth, what were you going to say?
I was going to say Kevin's points are right on. There's one other caveat to it, is that I think the way the CARES Act was written, that it stated that if a loan was not in good standing prior to, then it was not required to go into kind of this forbearance period. So not saying that that's your situation. I just want you to be aware of it. If that is,
okay,
I would still say have the conversation, with the bank, and just make the human appeal to the situation that you have going on. But to my knowledge, if there was an issue prior to, I think the date was maybe February 15th, then they may be hiding behind that as a shield.
Okay. This next question, I don't know if you know any information from Madam President. If you were in a payment plan for taxes and you haven't paid, will you be penalized or foreclosed on?
I'm sorry, can you ask that question again?
If you were in a payment plan with the city for taxes and you haven't made a payment due to the corona, will you be penalized or foreclosed on?
So I don't know whether or not you will be penalized, but I know that right now there are not being any foreclosures or anything being done right now. I can tell you that. But as far as what will happen later on, I would recommend that you contact the tax assessor's office and get that information from them.
Okay. And I got one last question for Kevin. You said that you guys are issuing out like loans that are worth more than a house. How does that work?
Yes. So that is our Detroit home mortgage. So the property has to be located in the city of Detroit.
Okay.
And so if it's a home that needs work, and even if the value of that home is lower than what the cost of the property and then the cost to make that home livable, even if the value is lower than that, then we're able to still do a mortgage through that Detroit home mortgage program. So I'll give you my number again if you have any questions on that, and then I would end up putting you in touch with Tangela Cole, who's on the line as well. I think she's having technical difficulties to get into the call, but Tangela is our DHM expert. She's located right in the city of Detroit. So my cell phone again is 248-376-4286. That's my personal cell, and then I will then in turn put you in touch with Tangela. Okay.
All right. Thanks everybody for answering my question, and continue to be safe out here. Thank you.
You're very welcome. You be safe as well.
I commend you for asking questions. I think to the listening audience here, this is a skill set we need to develop. And normally in times of crisis, we'd like to close in and really kind of hide because we may be embarrassed or ashamed. But this is the time to engage and to reach out and ask questions so that you are getting the information that can help you make a good decision. So I just want to commend you in front of everyone for your humbleness and candidness in sharing, because we need to do more of this.
Well,
Thank you.
I've been trained by Madam President. No question is a stupid question.
That's right. Unless you don't ask it. That's the
Correct.
question that's stupid. The one that you have a question on that you don't tend to ask. So thank you so much for calling in and getting the answers that you needed to help assist you. And again, if anyone has any questions once we get off the call, you can contact my office at 224-1245. Although there's no one physically there, we are still checking our voicemails. We are working during this COVID-19 period. So we are checking our voicemails. If you leave your information, someone will call you back to answer the questions that you have. So thank you so much for being on the line with us. I think we have another hand raised, and that is 397, the last 3 digits of your phone number, 397. You have the floor.
Okay, my question is, I applied for both the disaster loan and also the PPP loan, and the response was the funds had run out. What's my next step once they approve additional funds?
Ms. Logan? Okay.
Yes. So thank you for asking that question. So your next step is you need to be very proactive right now. So if you submitted your application for PPP, I know the gentleman from TCF said they're actually taking applications now while they can't be processed, because it can't be processed until it's actually approved. But you need to be having a very candid conversation with your financial institution on, where you are in the process. So to make sure that once this announcement is made, we all know that, supply and demand is very great. So if you're already in queue, find out what that means. Does that mean that you're going to the top of the list? I mean, what exactly does that mean? So you need to start to have that conversation with your financial institutions. In terms of the EIDL loan, again, that's a SBA direct loan. So once that happens, you need to, again, be ready to push the button. I mean, go ahead, and if you're ready now, it's time for you to go ahead. As soon as we watch the news, stay in tune with what's going on, and just make sure as soon as that announcement is made, you need to be prepared. So again, preparation meets opportunity.
Okay, I think I'm pretty much prepared as far as what documentation is needed. I do, during that PPP process, they did provide me with a SBA loan number. So who do I call? How do I follow up? I know that my bank, they assigned me a particular loan officer, so I know I can communicate with them via email. But who should I be calling about the disaster loan?
Okay, you can email our office at michigan@sba.gov. Give us your disaster loan number and just tell us exactly when it was assigned, the time frame, and let us take a look into that, providing you a status.
Okay, they didn't provide me with a loan number from the disaster, but they did provide me with a confirmation application number. So that's what you need from me for the disaster portion?
Yes,
okay.
That's what we need. And for the PPP, did you state the bank provided you with a loan number?
They did say that my loan officer said I have been assigned an SBA loan number. Yes, that was via the email that they sent me and corresponding with me about where I was in the process prior to the funds being exhausted.
Okay. So again, go back and have a conversation with them and find out what that means. Does that mean when the new funds are allocated that you're in queue, which means that your loan will be one of the first to be processed? Or just find out what that status means since they've assigned you a number.
Will do. One more question.
Sure.
What safeguards have been put out there that, one, the bigger companies that's bigger than myself are not going to exhaust funds again. And not only that, not only policing them, but who is policing us for making sure that we are in line to receive these funds?
So the comment that I would share with you is, of course, that's on a very national level, but I think the great position that Detroit is in, Mr. Kelly mentioned that, you know, he's involved on a national level in terms of making sure that loans are properly distributed when the funds are allocated. You know, is there a portion that's assigned to urban areas, rural areas? I think we're in a great position to have an advocate like Mr. Kelly. So I know he works really hard, so I just need to make sure that you continue to, he's here today, which I think that builds trust to let you all know that you do have an advocate for you.
Okay. That's it for my question. I appreciate everybody on the line.
Okay, great.
Oh, okay, thank you. Do we have any other callers now?
We do not have any other callers, Council President. We did have a question that came from Facebook, and that question is, what is the lowest score you will accept to approve a loan? What is the lowest credit score that you will accept to approve a loan?
Is that for me?
Anyone that wants to take that question.
So I would say in terms of for the SBA, you need to consult with your lender. I mean, Mr. Kelly is on the line and TCF is on the line. So they, maybe you can provide some insight on that.
Well, as far as an SBA, I don't know the information there, but they could contact any TCF branch to get SBA information. If it is related to mortgage, I would say temporarily right now, for example, FHA or even MISHDA, the credit scores, minimum credit scores have been temporarily increased. You're going to find typically around 660. For an FHA. Conventional loan could be 620, but I'm sure those are harder to obtain, to get approvals on. Other than that, we still have, you know, affordable lending programs such as the DHM that does allow a lower credit score. So it's kind of hard to say what's the minimum score. And of course, once we get through this, being confident that we will soon, those we're going to see those probably increase or decrease back down to the levels that they were.
What were the levels prior to?
On an FHA, really, we didn't really have a low credit score. Usually 580, 590 was about the range that, you know, anything lower than that, we saw that, you know, was harder to get approved. So it's been a pretty good increase, just due to the liquidity, economic times, and the tightening of the agencies.
All right, thank you. Mr. Kelly, did you want to chime in?
Yeah, I would say those numbers are right in line with what we were experiencing. And, you know, we've also had efforts to try to help individuals get kind of beyond those numbers, as Kevin just talked about, the 580 into a little bit over into the 600 range. So those are the numbers he mentioned are very consistent with what we have seen.
Awesome. Awesome. Does anyone have any other questions for our panel? If you do, please push *9, *9. Okay, I see one person has a question. I'm going to read the last 3 digits of your phone number. It's 080080. Your line is unmuted. Go ahead with your with your question or your comment.
Hello and good morning. I wanted to ask, do you all have a referral or resource to organization or individual that helps people to complete the PPP or the EIDL?
So this is Connie Logan. Yes, we do. We have several resource partners that can help you not only complete your application, but just to really help you through this crisis in terms of your business. So if you send us an email at michigan@sba.gov, we can share with you a list of resource providers based upon where you're located. And most of them are also safe. And so it would be a conversation like this where you can communicate with them live. So absolutely, we have an enormous amount of resources that's already funded at no charge for you.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, at this time, we're going to ask Ms. Kimberly Berry if she will come forward and provide any information that she may have. Ms. Berry?
Good morning, Councilwoman Jones, and thank you so much for having the Unemployment Insurance Agency with you yet again on this in this venue. We certainly appreciate you having us here, and certainly thank you so much for allowing us to speak to your constituents and explain to them where we are today. As many of them are aware, we are definitely still committed to making sure that every single eligible Michigan worker who applies for unemployment benefits receives them. We have tons of new videos, frequently asked questions, and tutorial on how they should access these benefits on our website. So if they go to www.michigan.gov, they certainly can see a ton of information. So again, that's www.michigan.gov/UIA. There we have information about the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program. We have information about our federal programs and things of that nature for those employees who ordinarily would not qualify for unemployment. So your gig economy workers, your DoorDash people, your Lyft person, your self-employed person, your 1099 person, your low wage person. So what we're asking right now is that for anyone who thinks they may be eligible for unemployment, please, 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 please apply. We are not turning away anyone. Also, if you feel like you were separated from your employer and it's been past the 14 or 28 days, still apply. We will make sure you get the benefits that you're entitled to. We are quite aware that as everyone knows, we are in a pandemic, and I wanted to provide some numbers to you though, as far as what we have accomplished thus far. So out of over 1 million people that have filed for unemployment since March 15th in Michigan alone, and of those 1 million people, 750,000 of them have received benefits totaling over $825 million. Now, I know that does not help the average caller who is stating that they have not received their benefits, but know that we are working around the clock to make sure we get you paid as well. So again, please bear with us. We thank you so much for your patience thus far, but please bear with us as we're trying to make sure that we handle everybody. And we know this can be frustrating, but just know that we're working as hard as we can, as diligently as we can to make sure you get your benefits as well. So one of the things that we've done is, again, we've increased our servers, we've increased our staffing capacity. So we're looking to make sure that helps with our phone system. We want to make sure that people who are able to get through online, please do so. That would free up the phones for those who don't have online access. So please remember that. Remember still that our best time to reach us for online is 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. So that's also something we want to make sure we keep in the forefront of your mind. An update for us would be for the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, the program I mentioned as far as being able to get unemployment for those who ordinarily could not get it. That application is out there now. So if you go into your account and you happen to see a Pandemic Unemployment Assistance application or PUA, that means we have ran your Social Security number and noticed that you may qualify for this program as well. A lot of people who are denied for regular unemployment, that application is there. So just check and make sure you can apply for that. That application went up on April 13th. So if you have not done so, please apply for those benefits. Also, know that we're going to start processing those soon. So once those are processed, you will start receiving your next steps on how to actually certify for those benefits. Our hours of operation has expanded. So our hours of operation now are 8 o'clock a.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. Monday through Friday. Saturdays, we're open from 7 o'clock to 2 o'clock. The Saturday hours are strictly for if you're trying to get in the system or you're trying to file a claim. Again, I want to repeat that. Please make sure if you have a question, do not call on Saturday. We want to make sure those who can try and get through in the system or try and get through on the phones get through on Saturdays between 7 and 2 o'clock. So our staff, again, are working as diligently as we can. Just because the phone stopped Monday through Friday at 6 and on Saturday at 2 does not mean our staff stops. Our staff stays in the queues until every call is handled. So make sure you kind of try and watch the time frames, A through L's, your dates of when to call to allow those M through Z's to get in on the opposite days. And I will give you those at the end of my presentation. Or you can find them online at www.michigan.gov. One of the things the governor's executive order did was it allowed workers who, without paid time off, to receive benefits. Workers who are self-quarantined can receive benefits. Workers who are caring for loved ones can receive benefits. So please apply and let's make sure we can get you the benefits that you're entitled to. The other thing that the governor did was to extend the benefits from 20 weeks to 26 weeks. So between the governor's extension to 26 weeks and the federal extension of 13 weeks, you can receive up to 39 weeks of unemployment. You also can receive, we're the first state to bring up the federal pandemic unemployment compensation, which is the additional $600 a week. Again, we were one of the first states to do that. So we have started paying out for that extra $600 a week. So please, these benefits are here for you. Make sure you apply. Workers already collecting unemployment benefits can also receive that extra $600 a week. The extra $600 a week is from April 4th through July 25th. Again, that's April 4th through July 25th. So make sure you apply for your benefits. Make sure you get the extra $600. There's nothing to qualify for that. The Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, there's no minimum amount you need to make. It's for everyone to apply. So please, please, please at least try and apply for the benefits. They're here for you. Again, eligible workers who are self-employed, gig workers, 1099s, that's a way for you to get your benefits as well. One of the other things I wanted to mention to you was that, again, our servers have been increased to capacity. We're increasing staff as much as possible to make sure we can get you through to online services and to our phone services. So just know that right now we're going to try and focus on getting those people who need to file a claim into the system. And we're focusing on those who are already in the system and still need assistance because they haven't received a payment or they may have a non-monetary issue on their account, which I've heard that a lot during our town halls. So they may have a non-monetary issue. So those are going to be our two focuses for the next few weeks, to focus on those who are trying to get in the system and focus on those who have something that's hanging them up from getting a payment. So it's not that everybody else are not important, but we just want to make sure we focus on those to kind of drive down those numbers as well. And then our last charge for the next coming weeks is to make sure we get that pandemic unemployment assistance applications processed as expedient as possible. In closing, I would like to say thank you again so much for your patience. We appreciate Michigan hanging in there with us. We certainly appreciate Detroit hanging in there with us. This is unprecedented times. We're in historic times, but I do want to thank you so much for all that you're doing. We are committed to making sure that we get this economy back up and running. And if it's our charge to do that, and we're certainly taking on the charge. Thank you, Congresswoman.
Thank you so much, Ms. Berry. You have done a great job. This is Linda Wesley. I am Council President Jones Community Relations Manager. The information that you provided was so very helpful to thousands of people that are not only watching on Facebook, but are actually those that are even listening in on the call. And we want to say thank you all, because this information it's hard to get. And nowadays, you know, when you call people on the phone and you're used to calling businesses, you know, the information is just very hard to get because of the time that we're actually going through. But I see we have 2 callers. Again, callers, I'm going to call the last 3 digits of your telephone number. If you have a question, please feel free to push *9. *9 will raise your hand. The first caller we have is caller 397. Caller 397, your line is unmuted. Go ahead with your question or comment.
Okay, I was wondering for the PUA unemployment benefits. Today was supposed to be the day that the applications should have come out to say when you can certify. So from your information that you just gave, I guess just be patient until that information shows up online.
Absolutely. So I understand that it wasn't a matter of just being able to just process those payments. So we are working on it in the background diligently to make sure we can get those payments out within the next few days. So today was our deadline that we wanted to have it out by, but unfortunately our system was not cooperating with us, but we've made like a lot of progress even this morning before I jumped on this call. Absolutely. So please just be patient. Once that is processed, the information will be added to your account for you to know when you're supposed to do your certifications and make sure you do them every 2 weeks. Yes, it will be sometime this week, early next week at the very
All right, thanks.
Well, you're welcome.
We have another hand raised. Is that
With caller
292? Is that 292, caller 292?
Yeah, I'm back again. What's the difference between the pandemic and the low wage or no wage unemployment?
It's all the same. I was just trying to explain who all could qualify for the pandemic unemployment assistance. And so the self-employed, the low wage workers, and those who are 1099, those who are who, like a person that works in a restaurant and things of that nature would not necessarily qualify for regular unemployment, but that whole group would qualify for the pandemic unemployment assistance.
Does the extra $600 that come in the same envelope as the unemployment, or come at different times?
It's all in the same check or on the same debit card, yes.
So if you apply and it's an account is saying pending, what does that mean?
That means that it's processed from our system and it's just a matter of going to your system or your bank. If there are no other non-monetary issues or anything else out there, that means your payment is pending from us to whatever mechanism you have, a check, your actual bank account, or your debit card.
And then last question, you said the federal government is offering an extra 13 weeks. What does that mean exactly?
That means so when you receive your monetary determination, which tells you if you are approved, this is how much you're approved for and for how many weeks. Instead of it being 20 weeks, which is what we were before the pandemic, it's now an extra 6 weeks. So it's 26 weeks by Michigan standards. And then the federal government gave an additional 13 weeks. So technically you could get up to 39 weeks of unemployment.
So do you have to do some type of reapplying to get the 13 weeks, or it kicks in automatic?
It kicks in automatically.
So if you approve, it's going to tell you you only approved for 8 weeks, or it's going to be an automatic 26 weeks?
You have to look at your MONDED. It depends. Look at your monetary determination, and it'll tell you which one you fell under. Notice I said you can be approved up to 39 weeks, but your MONDED will tell you which one you were qualified for.
One more question. So if you say if it's like 8 weeks, and can you reapply to extend it, or that's it?
When you get to the 8 weeks, it'll guide you on what you need to do. It may say you need to do an additional claim, and at that file for an additional claim.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you calling in this morning.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Berry. And I am now going to go to our final panelist for today, and she was a late addition, and technically she does not fall into the category of state and federal resources. However, we have some City of Detroit employees who will be filing for unemployment this week. So I asked Ms. Denise Starr, the city's HR director, to give an overview of the Detroit specific project. Ms. Starr, are you here with us? Ms. Starr? Okay, I thought Ms. Starr had joined us. And while we are waiting on Ms. Starr, I think I saw another hand raised. So I'm gonna go on to the next question if Ms. Starr is not there. And when she comes back, we will go to Ms. Starr. I'm gonna go to 146. I see hand 146. If we can unmute 146. You're unmuted.
Oh, thank you, Council President Jones, for this meeting. I have a question. I've been trying to help people get online to do their unemployment, even my daughter. This is for Miss Berry. Is it possible that the system can add something to say other? Because the things, they're unable to finish applications because it doesn't apply, say, for their job title, or maybe the other thing that didn't apply, like on the computer, they have a job listed. The person never worked for this person. She doesn't know who this person is. And then when you put no, it will not let you proceed. And then you're forced to put in answers to try to move to the next thing. So when you click on the date, then to go to the next thing, then it says you're denied. Now they're locked out. And so I'm trying to figure out, you can't get through. And when you call that 866 number, you totally get disconnected. We've been calling constantly. I've been calling, and I know it's a lot that have gotten through, but we've been trying like for the last 4 weeks. I got 2 clients that I've been really helping, trying to help, one of them being my daughter. And
Ms.
then
Berry?
another person. Miss Berry?
We can't hear you. We need to have you unmuted. If you can unmute Ms. Berry.
I'm sorry, I couldn't unmute myself. I'm sorry. So in order to get us, in that instance, did you try to click the chat button, the chat feature for?
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. Yes, we went to chat, and you started chatting, and it messes you up, too. You can't chat, and then where you put in your comments, I put in comments and sent those back, and then all you do is get a denial, and then it says error, you can't get back in, and you can't do a new application.
So your
I don't know.
Is the application itself denied?
Is it what?
Is the application itself denied?
Yeah, because I guess we accidentally put the wrong date in. You accidentally put something in, and you can't change it once you submit it. So so now you're kicked out the system totally.
So one of the other things that the person can do is go back into their account and send what's called a web notice. If the person clicks on I want to, and then they can ask whatever question they want to in that box, and we'll respond to them via web notice. Make sure they include a telephone number so we can give them a call back as well.
Okay, I think that's how we got kicked out. It's something wrong. It's not working. I don't know.
No, those are 2 different features. So you can reach us by online, by phone. You can reach us by chat, or you can do a web notice. A web notice wouldn't kick you out. She just has to send an email directly from her account directly to us.
Okay.
So, mechanism. So she wouldn't have gotten kicked out by a web notice. She may have gotten kicked out by chat, maybe by phone, but not by a web notice.
Okay.
Because we begin
and then
web notices.
Okay, so web notice. Now, how do you get to web notice?
When a person logs into their account and goes to, it'll say
go to what? It cut out.
I'm sorry?
The phone is cutting in and out.
If the person logs into their MyWham account and go to I want to.
Okay.
It should be under there to send a web notice.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. We'll
And that's
try
almost
that.
sending us a direct email, and then we'll respond.
Mhm. Okay. Thank
Be
you.
sure to include their telephone number as well, though.
Okay. Great. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. Is Ms. Starr back in yet? If Ms. Starr is not in, I'm going to go to the next caller, and that is caller number 338. Those are the last three digits of your phone number, 338. You're unmuted.
You is her friend. Oh, no, that's...
I just got a phone number. I ain't never added it to my phone.
338, you're unmuted. Do you have a question?
Hello?
Yes, you're unmuted.
Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Council President Jones. I'm sorry about that. I was calling in reference, this question is for Ms. Berry, and it's for unemployment because I have been receiving it, and I have received it. But I have a question. Do the employer take taxes out? And I noticed that it's every 2 weeks, but does that include my every 2 weeks regular pay plus the $600? I'm just hypothetically trying to see the payment.
Okay. So if you file for unemployment, then you will get whatever you were granted for the unemployment up to, if regular unemployment, it's up to $362. You will receive an additional $600 under the federal.
Okay.
And so, but your taxes, you determine how much taxes you want taken out.
Okay. So,
program?
I'm sorry?
This is just regular unemployment though, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just want to make sure your employer wasn't doing work share or something like that.
Okay. So if it's every 2 weeks, I get paid every week.
You get paid every week from the employer?
From my job. I get paid every week from my job. When I was working, I get paid every week. So it's...
So what?
Okay, so unemployment is every 2 weeks. The frequency of how you got paid for your job has nothing to do with unemployment. Unemployment only pays every 2 weeks.
Okay, got it. Thank you. That's more clear.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, thank you guys. Thank you for this call. I greatly appreciate it. President Jones, you're doing an awesome job with the community at large and all the speakers. I greatly appreciate you guys taking time out to help our community.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate you calling in today as well. Our next caller is Ms. Starr here yet? Okay, then we're gonna go to 883, caller number 883. Are the last three digits of your phone number, 883.
Hi, thank you, Council President Jones, for taking my call. I have a question as it relates to unemployment. I have certified, and I see for both of those certification dates, it says non-monetary issue, and I was hoping I can get an explanation as to what that really means. And secondly, the employer that I previously worked for is no longer in business. Will that impact my unemployment? Thank you.
The answer to your first question, a non-monetary issue means that something has happened to where the separation is now called into question. And that's one of the things I explained a little bit earlier that we're going to focus on this week is making sure those who have non-monetary issue, we can kind of clean those up and get those payments and out the door. So a non-monetary issue means there's a question somewhere between we need to ask you for additional information or we need to ask the employer for additional information. In reference to the employer, in reference to the employer being out of business, that's not an issue for us because the employer, as they file their quarterly taxes, people can collect from that employer for up to 2 years. So that means that whether they're in business or not, they've paid their taxes, we're all set. we still have ways to get you your unemployment.
Okay, and one additional question. So if there is additional information that is needed from me, and there was, and I submitted that information, and there's nothing else in my email box, I'm not sure where to go, what to do, if there's anything else needed from me at this point.
So if they had a fact-finding form, information they needed from you, and you supplied it, you're probably all set.
Yeah.
We may be reaching out to the employer to ask them for additional information. So it may not be you, it may be them. But again, that's one of our strongest focuses for the next few weeks, is to make sure constituents like yourself get benefits, and we clear up those non-monetary issues so that you can get the payments that you are entitled to.
So essentially, I could be waiting another couple of weeks before I get any form of payment?
No, ma'am. We're working on it aggressively this week and next week. So no, we're trying to make sure we can get everyone that's in that bucket completed as well. So I'm just moving
okay.
around a little bit.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, do we have Ms. Dye back with us? Ms. Dye, are you on the line?
Yes, I am, Council President. Thank you so much for your patience. I was having a bit of an internet issue, so now I'm on.
Okay, well, thank you for being here with us. I was explaining that although you do not fall into the category of state and federal employees or federal resources, that some of our Detroit employees will be filing for unemployment. And so I therefore asked you at the last minute if you would come in and give an overview of the Detroit specific process. So Ms. Starr, you have the floor.
Thank you, Council President. So as many individuals know, that the mayor at his press conference last week announced that we were having revenue shortfalls for the foreseeable future. And so we needed to take some action to bring our finances in order. And so we have basically 4 different categories of employee actions that we've taken over the last few days that become effective yesterday. And so we have a population that we have furloughed, which is we reduce their hours to 8 hours biweekly, 4 hours a week. And those individuals are basically the employees who have no, little to no work right now that they're able to do from home. So let's say that would be, our grass cutters, our play leaders, and so on and so forth. So we have reduced them to 4 hours per week, and but they also get to keep their health insurance. It was very important for us to maintain health care coverage for these individuals because we really don't want to lose them as employees. We want them to stay there with us, and so that is why we've taken that action, so that they could keep their health care coverage. The next category of employees that we have are those individuals where there is work to do, and we have reduced their work schedule to 80% of their schedule. So this is called work share, where they are going to work 80% of their schedule, and we are going to file for their unemployment through the state of Michigan. We've already done that. We did those filings over the weekend, and they would be eligible for 20% of what they would normally have received for unemployment. And they would also get the CARES Act stimulus dollars as well under that category. As that is the same for the 10% reductions that I spoke about a few minutes ago. Then there is the category of layoffs. 1/3 of our population, which is about 3,000 employees, were impacted by these changes, but we only had to the employees impacted by total layoff were 251. And those are individuals where there is, no work. They're cashiers, tellers, clerks, that there is, no work that can be done from a distance, and they're temporary in nature. And and seasonals also fit into that category. And then we have the reduction in pay that we're doing for those individuals that are $125,000 or more. Now, what the employees were given through this process was a packet that covered what they needed to do on the unemployment side, which is create their account. And I'm sure that Kimberly probably covered this in her presentation, but they would go in and create an account for themselves where they would be able to enter their direct pay, their ACH deposit, if they did not want to get the pay card that is the normal process for unemployment. And they could keep track of their account online.
Okay, do we have any City of Detroit employees on the line that would like to ask Ms. Denise Starr any questions? If so, if you will push *9, that will raise your hand and we will call you by the last 3 digits of your telephone number. Do we have any questions for Ms. Denise Starr? All right. So far,
Linda, I sent you several questions from Facebook.
okay. All right, Denise, and this may not be directed towards you, but there is a question and it says, is there a direct number for UIA for help? Who would like to take that question?
Kimberly, are you on the phone?
I think that question would be to you, Ms. Berry. I think that question is for you, Ms. Berry.
Yes. There is not, other than the 866-500-0017. Again, that's 866-500-0017. That's the only direct number we have. But again, if they want a direct link to us that's not a phone call, I would suggest that they go into the system, to their MyWim account, and send us a web notice and include their telephone number.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Wesley. The next question was, I applied for the pandemic unemployment, but now that I need to verify employment, where can I email my check stubs?
They don't have to email their check stubs anywhere. They can actually upload their check stub through their MyWim account, and we can process it from there.
Okay, thank you. If myself or others want to help with the unemployment, where do we go or how do we apply as a representative?
Unfortunately, we were hiring a few weeks ago at the beginning of April. So we're not necessarily hiring right now. And I haven't seen a process to where we can do it pro bono or anything like that, or have someone representing us without us providing pay. So just be on the lookout just in case we're able to hire any additional staff, and watch our website at www.michigan.gov and go to state jobs.
Okay, thank you. The next question is, does UIA have an email address for those who can't get in to the MIWA account?
When they go to apply, when they go to log into their MyWim account and it says that their system is locked, all they have to do is press, there's going to be a message on the screen that tells them to click here. When they click there, it'll automatically send us an email. It'll automatically send us an email.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I believe that's all the questions that I have that came in through Facebook. We are Facebook Live, and I want to thank everyone who have been patient with us. Our Facebook is facebook.com/CP Brenda Jones. I don't see any hands raised. I don't know if we have anyone waiting with a call, because with a question, I do not see any hands raised. Do we have any additional callers that have questions?
Yes, Council President, I see 3 hands. Caller 193, your line is unmuted.
Hi, I was calling to find out, I'm on furlough, and how soon should I set up my account?
Immediately.
I need to do it now?
I would do it now, because once you don't have to do anything else beyond that, but you can, once you set up your account, you are all set.
Okay, because I was under the impression that I was supposed to wait to get an email from the state in order to process the account. So that's not right.
No, because we wouldn't be able, if you don't have a MyWim account at all, is what you're saying?
No, I don't. I don't have one. No.
Right. And what I'm saying is you can go in and actually set up your MyWim account and then do nothing else.
Oh, okay. Well, great. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry?
I appreciate it. I said, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Do we have other hands that are up?
The next caller, 116, your line is unmuted. Go ahead with your question or comment.
Hi, do I have to get denied unemployment to apply for a PUA?
No. One of the beauties of the system is when you log into your MyWim account, whichever one, based upon your Social Security number and the wages that you've made thus far, it will put the application that you can qualify for right there. If you log into your account and you don't have enough wages, then it'll automatically give you PUA. If you log into your account and you were and UIA regular benefits come up, you can apply for that one.
Okay, because I was looking for the link to apply for PUA and I didn't see a link, but I did apply for regular unemployment.
And that's why. Whichever one you're actually qualified for is the one that presents to you. So
Okay.
you may qualify for unemployment, so it would not give you the PUA one.
Okay, now if I get denied, then could I apply for it?
Yes.
All right, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, our next caller is 558. Caller 558, your line is unmuted. Go ahead with your question or comment.
Hello, how you doing, miss?
I'm well.
Okay, I had a question for people that were in the process of being hired into the Census Bureau. I'm quite sure everything is on hold now due to the pandemic. What is the next move for people that's pretty much in the middle of the process? Because the individual were waiting to do a background check, but due to the pandemic, they closed all of the buildings.
So you should be available, you should be able to apply for the pandemic unemployment assistance, because you will fall into that category of a person who, to your point, was going to start a job, but unfortunately, because of the pandemic, it didn't go through. So you definitely should apply for that one. But again, once you log into your MyWim account, the one that best suits that person would be the one that pops up. So if you're able to qualify for unemployment, it would show. If not, the pandemic unemployment one would show.
Okay, and I had a second question. For a self-employed, if you're a sole proprietor, do you log under employer or employee?
Employee.
Okay, and it's the same thing if you're denied by the state, that makes you eligible for PUA?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't reap benefits from both parties?
Correct. You do not. It's
Okay.
one or the other.
All right. All right, thank you.
Thank you. I think we have caller 146.
Okay. Okay. Hi, Kimberly. I'm sorry. This is Minnie again. I'm online now, and it says I want to. And for the web notice, you have the options of chat with an agent, set go green preference, view the MIWAM toolkit, view claimant handbook or view 1099. When you chat with an agent, it locks you out. I don't know, what am I supposed to do? Chat with an agent? Click on that again?
So it doesn't give you the option to send a web notice?
Nope, it just says I want to, and those are your options. Chat with an agent, that would be the only option, but it's not working correctly. And then it keeps telling me I have an unfinished claim to complete. And then when I go to the claim, like I said, this person that they're listing as an employer, the person she never worked for this employer, in other words. And when you put no, it won't let you proceed because the other questions don't apply and there's no other, to type in explanation.
Ms. Berry, is there someone's phone number that she can contact that might be able to assist her?
If she can get you her phone number, I can probably have someone reach out to her, but I can't provide the agent's phone numbers on this line.
Okay. So Ms. Berry, you want to give her an email number that she can email you at and you can respond back to her?
I sure can. It's UIA-Kimberly Berry.
Would you start over? It's cutting out.
UIA dash Kimberly Berry at Michigan.gov.
Okay, thank you so much. And I really appreciate all of you all for this information.
Okay, thank you. You can, if you don't get what you need, you can also contact my office at 224-1245. Leave your information and we'll have someone call you back. So
okay, thank you. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you so very much. Do we have any additional callers waiting?
Not at this time, Council President.
Okay. Then I am going to take the opportunity to thank all of the panelists. I don't know if any panelists have any last minute words or advice or information they wanted to give. I know Mr. Kelly had to leave, but we still have several of our panelists on the line with us. I know Mr. Breil is still here, and Ms. Berry, you've been answering questions, so we definitely know you are here. And I know Ms. Logan is still here. Are there any last words that you all wanted to say? And I know Ms. Starr is still here.
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to present the information. There's a lot of information out in the community that I know is very confusing. And so this gives me an opportunity to provide direct information. So I just appreciate the opportunity and hopefully you will invite me back again.
All right. Oh, most definitely you will be invited back again. Thank you so much. And thank you for your willingness to share the information with all of the participants that call in to or Facebook in to get the information. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
And Council President Jones, thank you again for the opportunity. We count it a privilege to serve our community and look forward to our move into Detroit and when we move into our new building here in the next couple of years. But thank you. And if we can be in any assistance to anybody, whether it's business loans, helping through this difficult time, just reach out to TCF Bank and we'll be glad to help. And I pray everybody's safe and stays safe, and we'll get through this as a community together and be stronger for it.
Thank you so very much. And Ms. Berry?
I wanted to thank you, Council President Jones, for having us here. The Unemployment Insurance Agency really, really appreciates an opportunity to be able to speak to the constituents of what's going on where we are today. Know that we are definitely working around the clock as hard as we can to make sure we get everyone who's entitled to benefits paid their benefits. We are really, really trying to make sure people understand to apply for benefits. Even if you don't think you qualify, apply, and we will walk you through the process. And if we just can't get you applied, we'll at least explain to you why we couldn't. But right now, we have not experienced that yet. So just go ahead and please apply. Know that we're here for you. Know that we're open up our hours on Saturdays from 7 to 2 for those who cannot certify on their appointed time, Monday through Friday. Check out our website and look at our frequently asked questions, look at our tutorials, look at our other videos that we have there to kind of walk you through things step by step. A lot of the questions can be answered there. We make sure we take these questions back to try and make sure in case someone wasn't able to log in, that information is there for them as well. So please look at our website at www.michigan.gov/UIA for some tutorials and some helpful information. Thank you so much, Michiganders. Thank you so much, Councilwoman, for you and your constituents allowing us to share with you in this time. And thank you so very much for your patience. And I agree, together we will all get through this.
Again, I want to take the opportunity and in Mr. Kelly's absence, thank him as well for the information that he was able to provide to us this morning. We know that things are constantly changing. And so I hope our listeners receive meaningful information and have their questions answered. I want to also give a big shout out to my staff who has been my producers. Thank you to my staff, Team Jones. They always make it happen no matter what. Tomorrow morning, which is Wednesday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., I will be guest hosting on 9:10 a.m. and we'll have what I'm calling the Wayne County edition. Wayne County Executive Warren Evans, Wayne County Commission Chair Alicia Bell, and Wayne County Sheriff Benny Napoleon all will join me throughout the morning to talk about what is going on in their branches of Wayne County government. Please tune in the morning, again, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 9:10 a.m. Superstation. This Friday at noon, I will begin highlighting our heroes. These are the men and women who go to work each day so we can stay home and stay safe. If you know someone working in the medical, public safety, there are heroes that are store clerks. There are heroes that are delivery people. Any service or other field, please visit my Facebook page to learn how to have them highlighted. We know the job that everyone do each day is very important if they are out there working. And so we want to say thank you, and we want to just do highlights to those that have went over and beyond, and everybody is going over and beyond. And I wish I could just take each individual that go to work each day during this pandemic and highlight each one of them, because I truly appreciate everyone who is out there working on our behalf and servicing us. Please follow me on social media or call my office at 313-224-1245 to find out how to join my digital community engagement meeting, including our series on Thursday, which is the spiritual and mental wellness that will be at 5 p.m. on Thursdays. This week, we will focus on helping small business owners and entrepreneurs cope spiritually and mentally with the impact COVID-19 is having on their business. And on Friday at 9 a.m., I invite you to get your favorite morning beverage and join me for coffee, tea, water, whatever your favorite morning beverage is, in conversation, when we will discuss matters and provide resources focused on seniors, and that is our senior citizens. We will have guests from Detroit Area Agency on Aging, AARP, and Wayne State University. You also can find updated City Council related information on www.detroitmi.gov/Brenda Jones. Now, in closing, I always try to be thankful and grateful. COVID-19 pandemic makes it very challenging, but I am too blessed to be depressed or stressed, and I can always find something to be thankful for and someone to say thank you to. So today, I'm going to end by saying thank you to Detroit small businesses. You are the backbone of this city. I am continually working to support you through specific legislation and initiatives. You were leading the city's response before COVID-19, and it will be small businesses that hire people, pay taxes, and provided much needed services post-COVID-19. So to our small businesses, please be strong, diligent, and continue to apply for every dollar and resources that you have coming. I believe in you. I was a small business entrepreneur myself. I'm praying for you. And again, I say thank you to all of our small businesses. You truly represent the spirit of Detroit. Again, I say thank you to our panelists. I say thank you to all of our participants. I say thank you to all of my staff. And I say thank you, Lord, for waking me up this morning. Again, I am truly blessed, and I am your Detroit City Council President. So everyone, have a terrific Tuesday. Stay home, stay safe, keep those hands out of your face, use that hand sanitizer, continue to wash your hands with hot water and soap. Remember social distancing. If you must go out, please wear your mask. That is so important. Wear your mask. Again, stay safe, stay home. I will see you the next time. I look forward to talking to you the next time, which will be very soon. God bless you. Until we meet again, have a terrific Tuesday. Thank you. This will conclude our session for today. Thank you.